How do you do it? Oh. And action. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Without Prejudice in the Sunday in General kitchen. Although today we aren't in the kitchen, we are outside because it's a pretty sick morning. Today I'm actually just going to show you how to make an Aeropress. It's ironic that I try to release Without Prejudice in the time of this pandemic because every chef that we know and love has currently got a Instagram channel going. But with that said, I hope everyone's staying safe. I hope everyone's socially distancing and sticking to lockdown regulations and not being that tool that's running on the promenade. Don't be that person. But yeah, so today I'm going to show you how to do an Aeropress. This is a recipe I've been using for the better part of 5 or 6 years. It's a pretty foolproof recipe. If you don't have an Aeropress at home, I guess you can stop watching now. If you do use a pod machine, just a shout out to 4 Weeks Pods. They do some really cool biodegradable, compostable pods. Check them out. I know they are delivering during lockdown as well. The Aeropress, this thing is super cool. It's probably the most forgiving way to make coffee. If you're a beginner getting into home brewing, I would recommend using Aeropress. It was invented by Alan Adler. He's an American inventor, best known for inventing the Aeropress frisbee, that frisbee that you see everyone throwing around on Clifton Fourth. I like this recipe because I also brew coffee with a V60 at home, which is a pour over, which I'll be doing a video of as well. And this recipe I don't have to change my grind settings. Basically, the more in-depth we go into coffee on the show, I'll start showing you about different grind settings and coarseness versus fineness, and how that all plays into the coffee. But for today, let's just kick off and make this Aeropress. I've got a kettle here. It's been boiled and it's been sitting for about 2 minutes because we don't want to make coffee at boiling point. We want to make coffee at about 92 degrees. The water should be about 92 degrees. If you don't have a gooseneck kettle, don't worry, just use your normal kettle. Basically, the gooseneck kettle is for fancy hipsters, and this neck on the kettle helps you control the pouring speed, which is super crucial when you're making a pour over. To start off, I'm going to take 2 Aeropress filters. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to wet these filters. So wetting the filters, obviously it helps it stay in the puck, and it also gets rid of all the impurities, any dust or anything like that. So that's that. I'm just going to set that aside like that. I'm going to do an inverted method on the Aeropress today. Like I said, it's super easy, super quick. It takes like 2 minutes to brew. If you're running out of the house in the morning, perfect recipe. What we're going to do is we're going to insert it in like this. And this is quite a seasoned Aeropress, so you can't see. But on the Aeropress, there's 4 measurements, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to use that as a guide for your water. The coffee I'm going to be using today is Rosetta, obviously. Those of you who know me know I love Rosetta. As far as a coffee brand goes, they are on a global level in terms of coffee brand. And I'm going to be using Ethiopian today. It's super floral, really sweet. If you're looking for something more sort of tropical, I know that they do a good Colombia, so you can use it South American bean. I've hand grinded my coffee. If you don't have a hand grinder at home, just ask the bean supplier or the coffee shop to grind the coffee for you. What you want to do is you want to get a medium to coarse grind for a V60 pour over. So just ask them that and they'll be able to do that for you. I've got 14 grams in here. If you don't have a scale at home, don't worry, the Aeropress comes with this scoop thing, which is somewhere in my cupboard. Somewhere. It comes with a whole bunch of things like the funnel and the paddle, which I think have all been lost to the depths of the kitchen cupboard. Don't worry, the scoop is roughly 14 grams. So just grab a scoop and grab out some ground coffee and you'll be good to go. Just want to show you the grind coarseness on this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add this now to the Aeropress. I'm going to fill up to water marker, it's inverted, so I'm going to fill up 3 points of water. So I'm going to fill up to water marker 1. what this is going to do, it's going to let the coffee degas, which is super important. So we fill up to marker 1, and then I'm just going to push back to front 10 times. 6, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm just going to let that go just let it steep and brew for 1.5 minutes. I'm going to start the timer on my scale here, but you can start the timer on your phone or anything like that. So that's going to take 1.5 minutes to brew. While that brews, we'll just chat to you about coffee, I guess. So why I like Rosetta is all the beans they use are specialty, which means they are rated 80 plus on the coffee grading scale. They also buy beans that they have traced back to farmers, and they pay fair prices to farmers. There's a lot of unfair price wars, and let's just call it supply chain logistics in the coffee industry with farmers. I mean, they're still getting prices for their beans that they were 16 years ago. It's obviously not that black and white. There's obviously a lot of nuances to that, but yeah, I think it's really safe to say that you need to find a roastery that supports fair trade, which is also a bit of a loose term in the industry, but supports farmers fairly in terms of the wages that they're getting and the price that they're getting for beans and all of that jazz. And there's a lot of them around, especially in Cape Town and Joburg, and a lot of them are doing good things. And you might find a lot of their beans expensive, but at the end of the day, people need to realize the cost that goes into roasting the coffee, from the roaster to the barista to the farmer to the farmer's workers. There's a whole supply chain, and at the end of the day, paying 150 plus for 250 grams of beans is actually not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. So we've brewed for 1.5 minutes. What I'm going to do now, and this goes pretty quickly, is I'm going to take this empty water and I'm just going to throw it back in the kettle, because let's not waste water. Have your filter in hand ready, and I'm going to top up the last point on the water. So I'm just going to go from 0.1 to essentially 0.0, which is level. I'm going to throw the filter on, lock it in, take the glass, put it on top, and then very carefully just turn it over. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let the weight of my hands, I'm pushing down a little bit, but not too much. It's pretty much just hanging on there like I'm about to fall asleep. I'm just going to let this go. And you want to try and achieve an extraction of about 20 seconds. So we're on 15 now, and it's going to be about 22 seconds, which is chilled. And I'm not going to push all the way down. When I hear that first sort of hiss and let go there, I will stop pushing, because we don't want to get all that gas. So there it is, that first hiss. And that's that. I'm not going to drink it now, it's a little bit hot. I'm probably going to wait 5 minutes, go turn on my computer, get ready for the day. That's your Aeropress, guys. Super simple, super easy. A little trick to clean this Aeropress is to put it on a hard surface, press all the water out of it, unclip the filter, and then press down again. And that should pop out pretty clean, and then that can go into your garden.